This is Bofades, and he is stuck in ZF until he earns 1 million gold from this dungeon and this dungeon alone. Hi everyone and welcome back to the series where Bofades is stuck in ZF until he earns 1 million gold. Today's episode is going to cover runs 131 through 140. And before we get started, you may have noticed that we didn't post a video yesterday. Yesterday was a family day for us. We went to the zoo and then we went and saw the new film Disclosure Day. I made a post about it on my channel the day before to let everyone know that there wasn't going to be a video uploaded, and it looks like 15 of you saw it. So in the future, if there's any news or anything I want to tell you that I don't also say in a video, I'm just going to put it here. I'm just going to post it on the channel. Not necessarily in a hurry to start up another social media account connected to something. I have so many connected to the other stuff that I'm doing. Anyway, let's see how we did overnight. All right, looks like we only pulled in 737 gold from trade goods. We sold a traveler's backpack. I've been vendoring these. But I saw that it only costs like, I don't know, 3 silver, 5 silver to post them. So decided to start posting them, and I guess they do sell. All right, let's get all this in the bag. All right, that puts us at 94,070 gold. However, that's not where we're going to start today. I checked all of his auction house tunes, and we did have 2 sales. One was for the schematic of the Mithril heavy bore rifle for 696 gold. And the other was for Khan's leg guards for 3,813 gold. And these are green legs, for those of you that think that greens don't sell. So the sum of those 2 sales is 4,509. We're going to go ahead and pay that to ourselves. All right, we've paid ourselves from the warband. We are now up to 98,579 gold as our starting total before we get rolling here. All right, before we start, I'd like to highlight a few comments. First one says, you're locked into a dungeon of trolls on YouTube and WoW. As always, thank you for the comments and engagement. So Bofades here is my very first troll, and he was one of the free, I don't know, 80s or 90s I got with one of the expansions. And during his creation process, I thought about, you know, what would be a good name for a troll? And so that's why his name is Bofades. And to your comment, if you're a WoW player, you just know how it goes. Even from the very beginning, if you spent any time in Baron's chat, you're aware that the community here is a little different, a little sarcastic, a little snipey. And as long as you have thick skin, it's fine. Just don't take anything personally. And as far as the dungeon goes, I don't really have anything against these trolls in here. It's just that I know that they're carrying loot that I really want. So all this time that I'm spending murdering them has nothing to do with their race. They could all be gnomes and I would still be slaughtering this dungeon over and over. All right, next comment says, also may be wrong here, but the current loot issue in the regular non-instance world where drops start to space out the longer you farm an area doesn't seem to affect the green drop rate in instances. Yeah, that's 100% correct. People stopped farming this dungeon years ago whenever they discovered Silithus. You typically form a group or 2 groups and just farm the Twilight base camp for hours. And now after you kill these things for like a minute outside of dungeons, they just stop dropping greens. When this was first discovered, we were calling it a loot bug, but now I think we all know that it's intentional. And as far as I know, Blizzard hasn't announced why they did it. But the theory is that they did it to combat all the bots that are out farming. So yeah, because of that, a lot of us are spending more time in dungeons. And the last comment says, for the Horde. Yeah, so if you're on the Horde side, Bofades is the one that you're probably rooting for. And if you're new to this channel, you might not be aware that there is a Horde versus Alliance challenge going on between Bofades here and Socrates. Socrates being a Worgen alliance. As of right now, in this moment, Bofades is in the lead in the push to 1 million gold. But I haven't checked on Socrates and his auction house tunes this morning yet. So yeah, if you're a Horde player and you want to rally around one of the 2, Bofades would be your guy. Whereas if you're Alliance, Socrates would be your guy. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and eat our fried bonefish. Let's start up Loot Appraiser. And let's have a good day today, shall we? Gut Wrencher, 6,500 market value. Bonecaster's Gloves, Pride Lord Pauldrons. Someone asked what makes the Jade Legs and the Glorious Legs so rare and valuable. Imposing bandana. And what makes them rare is that the high-level greens in vanilla, there are just so many of them. So many with unique appearances. And getting them to drop is so hard because you're having to roll the RNG wheel every time. Sunscale Wrist Guards, 6,400 market value. And getting the RNG wheel to land on the exact item you want has proven to be very difficult, as we all know. Kind of like playing the lottery, and every kill is like a ticket, like a lottery ticket towards getting the item that you want, right? And so this pull right here is like 20 lottery tickets, right? And so that's why we see a lot of the like some of the decent items come from this. Like that, Resplendent Belt, Bloodlust Breeches. And as far as the value of the Jade Legs and the Glorious Legs goes, I think it's a combination of them just like looking pretty, just like looking like good items, right? And also the psychology of like just having them transmogged. The whole transmog system is just an opportunity for people to, you know, show off what they've found over the years. You know, like an opportunity to flex. And the flex with the glorious leg plates is that if people see that you're wearing them or see that you transmog them, if someone sees you wearing them, they assume that you just spent 500k to, you know, snatch them off the auction house. The fact that you would spend 500k on vanilla greens would suggest that you're well off. Or the assumption is that you're someone that's willing to spend hours and hours and hours farming for just one item, right? Either way, people like to collect things, or they like to buy transmog so that they can just show off their collection, right? It's kind of just the basic psychology behind it all. First round of vendoring there got us 425 gold. Now, I will say there are some transmog items that people show off in a different way, like after hours in the Goldshire Inn. But that's something that we're not supposed to talk about, right? Bloodlusty Pollets, 25k market value. So Bofades is a little nervous about what's going on over in Scarlet Monastery with Socrates. If you've been keeping up with that series, you know that Socrates has looted 2 super items from SM. And all it takes is for one of those to sell for Socrates to win the competition here. Highborn Crown. So even though Bofades has looted some decent epics here, he really needs Socrates' items to take months to sell. Tyrant Shield, 17k market value. And they'll most likely take a while to sell because I'm not putting them on a fire sale. I want to get as much out of them as I can. These 10 runs are shaping up to be the worst of the challenge. And it's hours like these that scare a lot of people off from transmog farming. Jade Fire Belt, which always works out for the rest of us. You know, less competition is good for us. Another pair of Bloodlust Epaulets. Bloodlust Epaulets. If you farm this place, don't sleep on the Bloodlust set. With that round of vendoring, we officially surpassed 100k in the bags, which is 10% of the way there. Massacre Sword, 1100. That's like the first green weapon that I've had ding. Oh, I can see why. Look at this. This is pretty cool looking. Bloodforged Shoulder Pads, 10k market value. Another Jade Fire Cloak. Lofty Arm Guards, 24k market value. Alright guys, that does it for these 10 runs. Let's go ahead and sell some stuff from our bags real quick. Alright, very lackluster 10 runs here. It's almost like I got punished for taking a day off. This says 1 hour and 19 minutes. I had to pause for a second to go get my dog. The wind blew our gate open and I had to like chase him down the street. So if we're to look at the best item of the day, War Leader's Greaves. Just a pair of boots that look like this. Undermine Exchange, we see 113 across US realms, 3k on the low end, 72k for a median. Moonguard, 3k. Area 52, 18k. That's interesting, right? Our second best item of the day is Bloodlusty Pollets. And we got 2 of these, and this is what they look like. Very, very red. 154 across US realms, 693 somewhere. 25k for a median. Duratan, 693, a low pop. Whenever you come to Undermine Exchange, you rarely see this, where you see the low price being on a low pop realm. And our third best item of the day, according to Loot Appraiser, is the Resplendent Belt. Looks like this. 157 across US realms, 1,000 on the low end, 49k for a median. Lowest on Frostmourne and Moonguard coming in third. Area 52, it's at 38k. So we're around 40 of these reinforced steel lockboxes. I'm going to go ahead and make a commitment to you guys to open them all before or at the beginning of the next episode. Oh, I forgot to disenchant. Let's hope that we get like 50 Greater Eternal Essence. That would make up for these 10 runs, right? Let's do that real quick. All right, not quite 50, but 42. 42 is pretty good. It's about 800 gold right there. Oh, and I forgot to mention we did get 1 blue today, the Gut Wrencher. Looks like this. It's about a 5,000 gold blue from here. All right, guys, that does it for this episode. Apparently, I'm not supposed to take any days off. Otherwise, I get punished by the RNG gods. But anyway, if you enjoy this sort of content, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever it is you do to engage with YouTube videos. Closing in on 600 subs on this channel. And the gap between Bofades' subs and Socrates' subs is shrinking. But anyway, until next time, take care. See you soon.